Hey team.
G'day folks, I'm sitting here with Brian Smith, Managing Director of Innovative Fishing Equipment again, and we're just going to have a bit of a chat about tying hooks on and sinkers and all sorts of other stuff about fishing that I don't know about.
There we
So
go.
how are you, Brian?
Good, Grant. Yep.
So mate,
We'll just sort of run through a few things. Seen a lot of muck-ups in my day and a lot of guys getting tangled up with gear, and it's all very well having lots and lots of fancy fishing gear in a tackle box, but getting it quite often from the tackle box onto the rod is a bit of a mission for a lot of people, and they do miss a lot of fishing and a lot of fun. A few quick tips to make it quick and easy. What I do, ease your drag off on your reel using the same mono that you've got. I'm using in this case 30 pound, using the same mono off your rod. So firstly we're going to throw a weight on, and we're clean from there to the reel, so it's just a double. If you can tie your shoelaces, you can tie this twice through with the little fingers and give it a wee wet up and pull tight. Simple, that one. You've then got your through your eye of your weight. Some people can put a clip on there, which you can do the same, slide through a clip, but I just drop the weight straight on with these ones here. One weight ready to go.
Brian,
To do the, sorry Graham.
that's alright mate, that looks like a fairly big weight. I normally use quite a bit smaller sinker, so why do you use such a big sinker, mate?
Well, mainly for tide. Where we fish,
Yep.
we're drift fishing. This is a 12 ounce. And there are a lot of people drift fish. And by drift fishing, I mean basically you're sitting in a river in your boat and you're moving over the bottom. Even though you can't see it happening, you are moving. If you don't put a decent weight on, you're going to be very slow getting to the bottom. By the time you get to the bottom, your line's on quite a big angle, and when you put the strain on and you're still moving, you're going to end up probably fouling down.
Right.
If you can get to the bottom reasonably quickly, especially in good fishing, you're a lot straighter and you've got more of a chance of getting hooked on and
Yep.
getting it off the bottom. Now, and remembering that if it is slow fishing, just drop it on the bottom, give it a half a minute or so, go up 10 winds, drop it back again. So effectively you're bouncing your gear along the bottom, just
Right.
following it. We do see people, they drop their hook over the side, they think they're fishing. They are fishing, but when it comes time to wind it in, they're on about a 30-degree angle and it just will foul down. So half a mile from the gear, the reel's been running mono off flat out, and they don't realise that they've moved away from the initial place of starting.
Right.
So then we just go from a weight to put our hooks on. Now, a lot of people want to get all flash and fancy, and that's entirely a personal decision. For me, and with chartering, you're quite busy, and it saves you sitting and getting your tackle box out and all your gear and everything else. Remembering you've got your rod, sucking your rod assister, and you can do all this with that in place if you want. Run off about 300 to 400 above your sinker, pull a decent sized loop into it, and again just that double knot through twice, take it up reasonably snug. Now the idea of just giving it a wee wet up with a bit of saliva is that if you don't, it'll burn the mono,
Right.
and the moment weight comes on it and it'll snap.
Right. So that's
Yeah.
quite a long loop compared with what I'd normally do. Is there a
Yeah,
reason
well that's
for that?
basically you're using that as your trace.
Right.
There's your trace to your hook. You're making this all out of what's off your reel.
Yep.
So this gets you back in business real quick.
Yep.
So, and then if you're really fussy and you don't like the big long, like the loop, you can halfway through the middle of it and drop another knot on it, and it just keeps that nice and snug and tight.
Yep.
And when it comes to putting the hook on, just a matter of squeezing up that loop there. These are 7-bar O's, Eagle Claw, and then we just go through the loop. Now, going through the loop, people have all sorts of ways. I go through like such and pull back up onto there. And the reason for that is you produce the mono back to towards the snood. The fish always 90% of the time hook in the corner of their mouth.
Right.
So that's helping like a spring when it's done like that.
Right.
And fish comes in, takes that and turns away, and you've got him.
Right.
And it just, that little bit of spring in the mono.
So I saw that you put that loop through from the inside of the hook out.
That's correct.
Is that the correct way to do it?
Now, you'll find that if you go the other way,
which I've always done.
Well, to me, when my fish swims in there,
right,
fair chance he's going to take off.
Right.
It doesn't produce the hook to the fish.
Okay. Cool.
And that's the way we've always, even our gear commercially, was tied in such a way that it did that.
Yep.
And you use the wee bit of spring of the mono. So you've got that. You've got your hook on there. And we'll put it around. And if you really want to compare it, try one each way.
Yep.
On a line and see how you go. And I'll just about put money on that you'll catch more fish on
that way around.
Right, if you're a two-hook man, just hook it over something. Do the same again up here with another loop. And then you can cut further up and put your swivel and your clip on. Again, right, we'll say we're going to use one hook here. So we'll just cut this. You put your clip on your rod end. Again, you go back to the same loop as you put in for your weight. And just little fingers. And there we go. And clip onto your rod and you're away. You're fishing. Takes less than 2 minutes.
Cool.
So the other thing I find, another wee hint, when fishing's really busy, and you can try this for yourself, use one hook and go for it.
Yep.
Because you won't have tangles. You're coming over the side with two good fish on. First thing they want to do is say hello to each other.
Yep.
And you'll end up with everything twisted and you end up with a mess, and it takes a lot of time to sort out. When you got one fish on, you're up, you grab that fish, you de-hook it, rebait, you're back fishing.
Right.
Just a wee bit of speed up, especially when you're drift fishing and you're going over a known patch, and you're going to have to get as what you can.
So for me, these hooks look quite big from what I normally use.
Yeah, that's actually quite small for that.
Is it? Oh, right.
Yeah, no, there's all sorts of preferences for hooks. Reason I go for these size and bigger, you can get the 7-barrow long shanks, much easier to handle with smaller fish.
Right.
But when you're de-hooking, I've got a de-hooker here, which are available in any fishing store. So you just pull that in, your fish is in there, you pull that up tight, it slides into the fish's mouth, and then you just flip the fish.
Flip the fish, right.
And that will flip the fish clean off the hook. And that, again, makes for speed. If you've got to do two of those, you can imagine you've got two fish, two hooks.
And then you've got a hook with no fish on waving around.
Basically, you've got nuts. Two of everything, you've got double trouble.
Yep. Now, the other thing is sinkers. I go to buy sinkers, and there's about 1 million different bloody varieties. And you're looking and going, well, what's that one good for? What's that one good for? And what's the advantages of that shape? You get the round ones that have got the spikes on. And,
they're anti-drag, those ones. They're an anti-drag type of, supposedly more resistance on the bottom.
Right.
You've got the bullets, which is what we use. They're good. If they drop into something, there's a fair chance they'll come back out at you.
Right, yep.
The other ones, we use the wee pyramid ones.
Yep.
12 ounce and up for our deep water drops over 300 to 400, up to 600 metres, we use 32 ounce.
Right.
At 600 feet, it's 100 fathom.
Yep.
They take about 2.5 minutes to get to the bottom.
Right.
So you've got to use good gear. And again, it's important too, the other thing I think, if you're drift fishing, is try and get everyone working together.
Yep.
So if you're coming up for a drop, make sure everyone's ready. all on one side, not 3 on that side and 1 on that side that's going to drift under the boat and hook everything else up. It's just, if you want to do it, have a good day, get into it. Just a wee bit of organisation.
Yep.
And it all helps.
So, and what about the difference between monofilament and the nylon? You know, what's the real difference there?
As in
ease of use and
the mono, like
the strength-wise, and
pretty much the same as strength-wise and that, but easier to, I think, with your mono, it's not as stiff.
Right.
It's easier to work.
Right.
Doesn't nylon, the actual nylon as such burns quite easily.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of knots, which over the time we'll show you. There's the joining knots. There's these knots I've just used now. The next time we do something, we'll do a full set of gear with swivels and things.
Right, cool.
A lot of people make up their own stuff ready prior to when going out, but it all turns to custard when the action's happening. And this is why I found this has been a foolproof, quick way of keeping people fishing.
Yep.
Yeah, and it just, happy fisherman's a happy wife, and a happy wife's a happy life, really.
Oh, cool. Look, thanks very much for that, Brian.
No worries.
Been really informative for me, and I'll hold you to that because I'm going out fishing this weekend, so we'll see.
My phone will be off.
If your tricks work all good and well, eh?
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, Graham.
And thanks from Innovative Fishing New Zealand, Fishing Equipment New Zealand Limited. And don't forget to look us up, www.ifisheasy.co.nz. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys. The same, the strain.